Hey guys, thank you all for joining today. So we got me and Ryan on the call. We're gonna actually just walk you guys through the Ungate guide, and it's gonna not take too long to get to it. So this meeting's being recorded, so hopefully we'll have it up soon enough for you guys. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Michael. I've been selling on Amazon for about a year now, and we got Ryan on the call as well. He's been selling actually since 2014, and he's got a lot of great sauce when it comes to getting ungated. So I'm gonna just share like how I was taught to get ungated, and then my goal, I'm gonna have Ryan jump in, just chime in and share his thoughts as well. So let's jump right into it. I'm gonna just share my window. All right. Can you guys see my screen all okay? Can someone just type in the chat if everything's good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Cool. So this is a example of a Kohl's invoice that I actually used to get ungated in Ninja. And so I just changed my address so that my personal information wasn't on here. But what you're going to want to do is you can actually go to any major website, right? Kohl's, soccer.com. I know a lot of the major websites will work to get ungated now. Amazon is actually much more lenient nowadays than they were in the past. So all you're going to do is you're going to order 10 of the same thing. And you're going to want to make sure that the 10 line up with the item that you're buying, right? So if I'm buying 10 of, I bought like it was like a 12 cup muffin pan. And you're going to want to make sure that that same item is on Kohl's and it's on Amazon. So I just made sure that everything lined up. You're going to want to buy stuff that's pretty cheap because let's face it, you're probably going to sell it to break even rather than make a profit with it. So you are risking it, but it's worth it because now you can sell major brands. So this is what my invoice originally looked like when it came in. I actually, let me see if I can, so I actually think what happened with Kohl's is I ordered it online. They sent it as like a physical invoice in the box as well. So I just scanned this. I pulled out an app. It's like the Genius scanner. And it's like this orange app right here. You can scan everything and just scan it, upload it to PDF, and you'll submit it. So I'm going to show you how to mark it up real quick. So basically what you want to do is, this is how Ryan explained it to me. The Amazon workers, they have 30 seconds to take a look at your invoice, right? They have 30 seconds, right? This is how Amazon works. Everyone's on a timer. So these people are working really fast. They're being really rushed to make sure that, hey, does your invoice deserve to get ungated? So you want to make it as easy as possible for the Amazon workers to be able to quickly look at your invoice and within 30 seconds determine, okay, is this legit? Does this person deserve to get ungated? So we're going to show you how to mark it up. Okay, so I would literally pull out a Sharpie and I would circle the quantity of 10, letting them know that you got a quantity order of 10 right here, right? That's the minimum requirement to get ungated. Okay, and then next, you're also going to want to write down the same ASIN that is equivalent to the item. Okay, so basically,
the UPC as well, ASIN and UPC. You want to add in there. So
okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I should have added like the UPC right here, add it below as well, and just make it really easy for them to read so that, you know, the Amazon workers, right? They got 30 seconds. They look right down. Okay, here's the ASIN, the UPC, the quantity, right? It's all marked up for them. And then lastly, you just want to also make sure that the name of the supplier is in the invoice, right? That's going to make it a lot simpler for them. So I just circled it so that you guys can see Kohl's was right here. When I was getting ungated, I didn't necessarily circle it myself. I just had this markup right here. So I'm just going to pause for a second, right? It is really straightforward. Getting ungated is a matter of just marking it up, making it easy for them to read. And if you do get denied, just resubmit. I'll actually show you in a sec, like the resubmission process and just like how to make what to do if you do get denied. Ryan, do you got any thoughts just like on anything I said right there?
Yeah. Hey guys, my name's Ryan. I'm the senior product manager here at Nepeto. I've been selling on Amazon since December of 2014. And so when I first started on Amazon, it was very, very difficult to get or actually, excuse me, when I first started on Amazon, it was very easy. You could use receipts and that lasted for about a year. And then in 2015, Amazon, made stuff very difficult. And for many years, you had to buy something from a reputable supplier or distributor. It had to be, and so that's a lot more difficult. But ever since, right after sometime in 2020 or 2021, during the, COVID years, Amazon relaxed the rules. And so now you can, retail receipts don't work for ungating, but you can use online receipts. And so, almost any online retailer is going to work for ungating. It's just a matter of making whatever is clear on the invoice or the receipt super clear. And so my favorite way to do this is, technically what Michael said is you could use that, you could scan the invoice in the box and send that in and edit it in a software. But my favorite way is just going in your order history once the item, ships and let's say Kohl's.com, you pull up order history, you download that into a PDF, and then you're gonna want to go in there and so Amazon tells you what they want, and so nothing on Amazon is rocket science. Every time you apply for something, they literally tell you on the prompt, if you read it, what they want on the what they need to see on the invoice. And so they're going to ask for like, hey, we need to see the quantity, the name of the item, the UPC, the supplier information, the supplier address, the supplier phone number. And so a lot of people ask me, hey Ryan, what does Amazon want? And I said, well, whatever Amazon wants, they're going to tell you. And so it's there. And so generally, I'm going to go ahead and I'll read off to you guys what Amazon looks for that you want to add. Is I'm gonna screen share here.
Yeah, let you.
Give me 1 second here, and I'll just I just typed it up right now. What Amazon looks for. So not all this Amazon's gonna ask you on every invoice, but can you guys, Michael, can they see my screen?
Yeah, we can see you.
Cool. So they're gonna ask for your customer name, and so customer name means whatever matches up to your Amazon account. If on your Amazon account it's Jen Smith, you got to put Jen Smith. If your company is also on your Amazon account, you got to put that on your on the name as well. And so I just want to make it clear, whatever is on your whatever is the name that's on your Amazon account, when you go pull up your store name and it pulls up your address, whether it's a company name or your name, that's the same name you're going to want to use when you're ordering the items to get ungated. You want to put if your company if on your Amazon thing it has your company name and your name, you want to put that when you're ordering from Kohl's.com or whatever. If it doesn't have your company name and on your Amazon store, it just lists your first and last name or your middle name or whatever it is, just put that on the thing. But I want to make sure if the company is on your Amazon store, or if there is no LLC, make sure you add your company name and your name to it. If your company name isn't listed on your Amazon store, just put your first last name. I know some Amazon stores you have to put your middle name, and so make sure whatever it is, it matches up. Next thing is customer address. So you want to make sure that whatever it's the same address, that's whatever you're ordering the items to, it's the same address that matches up to your account. And so no, ordering something to your prep center and using that invoice, they're going to have different addresses. And so when you're ungating, you're going to be wanting to order stuff from the same address that's registered to your Amazon account. When you pull up your store, it says your address. And so you want to use the exact same address. Amazon's very picky on that. The next thing is it's going to ask you for, I'm missing one thing here, store phone number. It's going to ask you for the store name. So that would be like, let's say we're buying it from Kohl's. We would just put, Kohl's Incorporated here. And then it's going to ask you for the store address. And so if Kohl's doesn't list this, I'm going to Google search the Kohl's company headquarters address and put this on here. So Google search company headquarters address, and you could use that address. And so if it's not on the invoice, I got to go add it to the invoice. So you're allowed to add anything to the invoice. You're not allowed to cover stuff up or change words around or Photoshop stuff out. You could add stuff to the invoice if it's not there. Example, the store's phone number is not there. You would add the 800 number of the Kohl's store. So pretend it was like 800 whatever. You would add that to the thing here. So let me just do that. And so you'd add that, and then the next thing is store description. And so you got to realize the Ungating team guys, they're all over the world. They're in probably 40 or 50 different countries. Amazon's a huge global company, and so the Ungating team is definitely not in the U.S. Most of it's sourced to a lot of countries where English isn't their native language. And so you got to really you got to imagine when you get Jim in Bangladesh to look at your invoice. He doesn't know what Kohl's is, and so because he doesn't live in America, he doesn't know what Kohl's is, and so I got to literally type in here, Kohl's is a retail store in the United States. I don't know how many stores they have, but pretend they had 1,600 locations, and they've been around. They have been in business since I don't know what it is, 1961. You got to explain this to put this in the description. Literally, you got to make a thing that says store description and then explain whatever the store you're buying it from. Because like I said, you got to remember, Jim in Bangladesh isn't going to know what Kohl's is. And so you got to explain what these retailers are, because in the prompt for the Ungating team is they got to make sure this is a reputable supplier. And so you got to explain on the invoice what the supplier is. You got to add a text box and explain this. Anything that's not here, you got to add a text box and put, store address, the company address, and put that down. So anything in the invoice that's missing, you got to add this. Unit quantity, you got to buy, a minimum of 10 units. You could buy more than 10 units. That's for any websites. If you want to do, you could use Amazon to get Ungated. It would have to be under an Amazon business account. It will not work with the personal account. So you would have to go open up an Amazon business account under your business entity. I believe you might be able to use your name. They might have changed it, but you have to go open up an Amazon business account. But that requires, if you wanted to buy stuff on an Amazon business account to get Ungated, that they raised the limits now. So now that requires you 50 units of an item. And so every website, with the exclusion of Amazon Business, you can order 10 units. Amazon.com, the consumer site. So Amazon.com consumer will not work for Ungating. You might get lucky and you might get a computer that checks the invoice and it passes you off. But the Ungating team is trained not to submit those invoices. It could work, like I said, no guarantee, but I would generally say, Amazon Business does work, but you would have to buy 50 units. And so that might be, a really expensive thing for you to incur. Title of the item is self-explanatory. Whatever the item is, you want to highlight that. In that, if the UPC is on the invoice, cool. If the ASIN, the ASIN won't be, and so you're gonna have to add the ASIN to the invoice. Go ahead and add the ASIN, whatever you're trying to get Ungated to, on the invoice. You're also gonna want to add the ASIN in the file. And so when you submit to Amazon to get Ungated, you're gonna save it as like a .pdf or a .png file. And in the file name, you're going to want to add the ASIN in the file name, and then also the product summary of whatever the item is. Really short. So if I was getting Ungated in, I don't know, let's say Clorox bleach, for example, I'm not going to type that whole out, but I would, in the file when I save it, I would do, invoice dot Clorox bleach, and then I would put the ASIN, so it's like B000, and then and it would save as .pdf. And so you want to name the file with the word invoice, even if it doesn't say the word invoice, just put it on the file name. Even if the invoice says receipt on it, Amazon still takes documents that say receipt. Just in the file name, I would just put invoice dot whatever the item is, a super, the brand, and just like the first letter, whatever the name is, and then the ASIN, and then save it as whatever the file format is, whether it's a .pdf or a PNG or whatever. And so Amazon tells you what file formats they take. with that being said, I'm going to pass this call, back to Michael here. So let me go ahead and stop presenting here.
Cool. Thank you, Ryan. Cool, guys. So I hope that made sense. We're going to open up to questions in a second. I just want to show you what Ryan was saying. You can actually screenshot. So like the way I showed you was waiting for the invoice to come in through Kohl's. And Ryan was saying you can actually screenshot or download the PDF. Maybe if you get like an email, you can actually download that PDF. I'm just going to show you what me and my friends used to do when it was Q4 last year. So I was ordering a lot of things on Kohl's to get Ungated, and this was just a ninja trick, right? So basically, when you place an order, you can go to your Kohl's order history and just click on it, and basically go down to like see all orders. So my bad, the screenshots were out of place, but yeah, basically I clicked on the order history, and this was the invoice that I actually used to get Ungated in Under Armour, and this is a screenshot right here from Kohl's. So what I did was I ordered 10 units from Kohl's, and I was able to screenshot it in a way that made it look like an invoice. Right? This is like just something you can try, and then what you can do is you can instantly submit it to Amazon to see if you get auto approved. Right? An auto approval is when you'll basically get back within 10 minutes whether you do get approved. And if you really want to be a ninja about it, Kohl's has like a 15-minute window that you can cancel your order. So if you do get auto approved before that time, you actually can cancel your order and you'll be Ungated. That's just a trick that we were doing back in Q4. But so all this is right here is just a screenshot of like the Kohl's order. I just changed like my address and everything. So just wanted to share that, but Ryan's way is definitely the more legitimate way. So we want to just open it up to questions at the end if anyone does have any Ungating questions for us. And other than that, we'll wrap up the call there.
Yeah. And so the last thing when I say you got to mark up the invoice, it's like just like pretend you're back in university again, whether it's, underlining something, or usually what works the best is highlighting something. And so there's a lot of different softwares that do that. We could we'll throw some softwares in the description of this call. But there's one built into Windows called Snipping Tool. My favorite is a software called Snagit. I think it's like $30 a year. And so these softwares let you go in and screenshot, screen capture whatever is on your screen, and then they let you save that as a PDF. They let you edit the screenshot and add the text box and highlight the stuff that Amazon's asking you for, and then download it as a PDF so you can submit that to Amazon for Ungating. And so I just want to make it clear, guys, that's the reason why most things Ungating doesn't work for you guys is either stuff is missing on the receipt, and you guys need to go in and add that stuff and make it clear that that you added and explain that, or it's not like super clear, it's not highlighted or underlined or whatever. And so like once again, guys, the Ungating team, most of these guys, they don't speak on English, and they're on a really, really tight time crunch, and so they only have like 30 seconds to look at this. And so I remember someone told me, one of the Ungating team, this is when you could call him back in the day, you can't do this anymore. He literally told me, he's like, hey Ryan, I got like 30 seconds. If I can't understand what's on this, my English isn't great. He goes like, I run out of time and I have to click decline, and then it gets declined. And so whatever Amazon's asking you for on the receipt to get Ungated, make sure you add all that stuff. The stuff I said in the and we'll make a document on that, but the stuff I added in the document is what Amazon is, all that stuff that Amazon asked you for, and more. And so if you add all that, you won't have any questions. And so we'll post that at the end of the call, and so you could screenshot that if you guys want, or take a photo. So with that being said, let's go ahead and answer some questions here. This is a packing slip, though, not an invoice. And honestly, it doesn't matter whether you're using a packing slip or receipt or invoice. A lot of times it works either way. I mean, Amazon says they want an invoice, but all my friends, it's work with an invoice or a packing slip, or you might get lucky in a buy online, pick up in store receipt might work too. It's really, really just hit or miss. Obviously, the invoice, if the document says invoice, it's going to work the best, but everything works. And then there are websites that make it a lot easier. I'm sure you guys have heard of like soccer.com and Target for ungating. And so it's not so much that, you know, Amazon takes those receipts more than anyone else. It's that Target and soccer.com on their invoices or document, whatever you're used to submitting for ungating, they naturally put a lot of the information Amazon's asking you. And that's why those websites work. You won't hear Walmart used a lot because I just looked at a Walmart order. I went on my account and pulled up a Walmart order, and it's missing a lot of the information Amazon's asking you for to get ungated. And so then you would have to go in there in some kind of editing software and add this stuff in, add the UPC and the ASIN and highlight all this stuff that I talked about a while back. And so
Hey Ryan, I have a question. If I have any product that I bought from official products website, for example, Yankee candles, right? So I'm just giving an example.
sure.
I'm gated with Target receipt.
Okay.
Just go and buy some 10 from Target as well, and use that receipt to ungate and then return the products to Target. Is that a fix as well? Because most of the time these official websites of official brand websites do give you invoices, but they remove essential information, including their brand name.
Yeah, and so that's why it's all about like on the website trying to figure out where the most information is, where it's like it's either like pulling it up under your order history or maybe there's more information, you know, on your email. And so you just got to screenshot whatever. It's not so much downloading the receipt from the website and like the PDF feel like, you know, Target might give like click here to download the PDF. It's just screenshotting whatever what has the most information and saving that as a PDF and editing that. But in terms of your question, you know, Target works, the brand works. I will say some ungating, some invoices and stuff, they get forwarded to the brand. And so, you know, not all stuff, you know, Amazon checks themselves. There's certain brands that that requested that, hey, I want to see the invoice or the document because for whatever reason, they want to be sure that whoever's selling their brand is a legitimate seller. And so a lot of the smaller brands and some of the really strict brands like maybe North Face that only lets authorized distributors sell their brand, Amazon's not going to check the receipt. It's going to go right to the brand. And so if the brand is not on your authorized list or whatever, you know, they're not going to approve you. So I just want to make that clear is, you know, be careful whatever you're doing, buying stuff on Amazon, be careful. You're not recycling receipts from your friends or anything like that, that you're actually buying this stuff because sometimes it does go through the brand. And if you are buying stuff and returning it, that could backfire you on you. If you're returning a lot of stuff, you know, the fraud prevention team might step in and start canceling your orders, or they just might ban your account from ordering. And so I generally recommend like, hey, you know, don't just be buying stuff to get ungated. Like, what's the point of that? I'm only buying stuff. If I find a profitable item and I'm not gated in it, or I'm gated in it, I'm just buying it. I'm buying that and then using that to get ungated. I'm not just going out there and getting ungated in random brands for the sake of it. Because then what's the point? Then you're just gonna have to return the item and you're pissing off the brand or the retailer, and you don't want to establish a bad relationship with them. And so I'm only going out and getting ungated and profitable items that like, hey, if I do get ungated in this is an item that I'm going to sell already. And so the beautiful thing of Nepeto here, I'll show you guys right here. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to screen share. Michael, let me know when they could see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Cool. So the beautiful thing about Nepeto is we take you right to the Amazon listing screen. And so my Amazon account isn't logged in and I don't want to show you guys my Amazon screen, but basically you would click the orange ungate button here, and that would take you right to the Amazon screen. And so I'm not logged in here, but that would take you right to the screen where you can go ahead and list an item. And so and so another thing I want to point out is if you're gated in an item, make sure you try to get approved for the item first without buying 10 units, because especially as a seller like me, I'm very well established. As you build up more account history and you have good metrics over the years with Amazon, you won't need to buy 10 units to get ungated and stuff. And so I can get almost ungated in any brand without even submitting an invoice, just because Amazon knows I have a good track history. And so that's why I want to say the more you sell on Amazon, the more brands will automatically ungate for you, and you won't even have to buy 10 units. And so before you go buy 10 units to get ungated, check before to see if you can list the item. And so you would click this button, and it would say either if you can list it now, that means you can sell it, or it'll say, hey Bobby, submit, click here to see if you're ungated. And so I'd click that button to see if I'm ungated, and then it might automatically ungate me, and then I don't have to buy 10 units, or it would tell me, hey Ryan, sorry, based on your account history and metrics, please submit a reputable invoice from the brand or whatever. And so I just want to make that clear is don't go out and waste money buying stuff and returning it, and don't go out and buy stuff because you're gated, and check to see if you're automatically going to get ungated in for it. And if the screen pops up where it's like, hey Ryan, you need to submit an invoice, then go buy 10 items. But don't be buying stuff just to get ungated in it. Only buy stuff that makes sense for your business model. And so it's just the orange ungate button here. The reason why we don't display this directly inside of Nepedo is just like with other softwares that might say, hey, you're automatically ungated, is for whatever reason the Amazon API, which is just the algorithm that communicates with third-party softwares, the data Amazon provides for to software companies is not always accurate for the ungating button. And so we never want to tell you guys you are ungated on something and then buy it and you're not. And so that's why we don't tell you directly in our software, like some of our competitors, if you're ungated or not. We provide you a link that directly goes to Amazon that could list the item. And so if you can list the item, you can sell it. If you can't list it, it'll say, apply now to get ungated. I click on it, it'll either say, congratulations, you've been approved, or submit an invoice, and then you'd buy 10 units and mark up the invoice. And so I hopefully that helps more with a bit of context. But once again, we're going to open this up to questions so you guys can chime in again.
What's up, man? You guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. First of all, I want to say thank you guys for doing this. Two questions. What's the difference? So I get listings that ask me, I'll get rejection that asks me to either submit 50 items in my invoice when Amazon shows show an invoice of 10 or more. So what's the difference there? Like what's causing them to reject me there? And the second one is I get listings that say, for example, I try to get approval to sell Adidas, and they say um, not accepting requests at this time. Like, what's driving that? Is my account blocked, or is just a situation where they're removing access at a certain time? And then the last thing, if Michael can kind of walk through again, him marking up an invoice in Canva, that would be really helpful.
Sure. So the 50 units that might change over time. But in general, I mean, there might be some brands now where they require you to order 50 units. I mean, that would be really obscure, but I could see Amazon doing that. But in general, it's 10 units unless you want to buy. It's 50 units if you want to buy something from Amazon Business, not Amazon.com, the consumer account. There's the Amazon, business to business. So Amazon has an account for businesses, and if you order from Amazon Business, you can submit that invoice to get ungated, but that now requires 50 units. And so that's where the 50 number is coming from. So in the past, you could get away with ordering, I forgot, it used to be a lower minimum, but that was too easy. And so now they raised it to 50 units. And so that's where you're getting the 50 number from. And so any other website is going to be 10 units that works, with the exception of the Amazon.com website. That won't work for ungating, but the Amazon business side of their website will work. You just have to open up an Amazon business account. The other question about, yes, certain brands will get red restricted, either red restricted where it just turns red where you can't apply, or they'll say, hey, we're not accepting applications at this moment. And that's not usually something, due to your account. That's just Amazon's just cleaning up a brand and they're kicking sellers off, and one day they'll most likely open that up again. I mean, there is the rare chance that Amazon doesn't open up stuff, but that hasn't happened where Amazon hasn't locked down a bunch of brands. That hasn't happened since Ungating Apocalypse way back in summer of 2017. And so there hasn't been another instance where Amazon's, hard gated brands and never open it up again. That's the last time that happened was 2017. And so usually if Amazon locks down a brand, you guys saw Nike got locked down for a couple weeks, but it opened back up. And so the whole reason why Amazon locks that brand down is to go in there and kick all the bad sellers off and clean up the brand, because the brand gets mad at Amazon. And then when they clean up all the sellers that are selling counterfeits or whatever the drop shipping problem or whatever the issue is causing, to open back up the brand again. And so maybe I've heard Adidas, maybe like you said, it might be closed down again, but it's very likely that it'll open up back up again.
Yep. And then the last part of your question, you want me to just share my screen, show you how to mark it up again?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, we'll do that real quick. All right, so right, you got the invoice, you got the unit 10, and all I'm gonna do is so this example right here, I got this invoice, it came in the box when I ordered 10 of them. So I literally got a marker, circle 10, letting them know there's 10 of them.
Michael, can you highlight in Canva?
Let's see.
It works a lot better.
I can draw. Yeah, I can highlight.
Yeah, so I would highlight in yellow. It works the best. It's the easiest to see because remember, they got like 30 seconds to look at these things. And so you want to make it stand out as possible. And so Michael's going to highlight. The first thing, Michael, is the order number. So go ahead and highlight.
Okay.
The order number. And then the shipping address is. So go ahead and highlight that.
Right here.
Highlight the title of the item and then the UPC as well.
The description you're saying?
Oh yeah.
And
So they would take this highlighted like that.
Yeah, you want to highlight stuff because remember,
Okay.
the Ungating team doesn't speak good. Like a lot of them, English isn't their main language, and so you got to make it really clear what. And so it saves them a lot of time when it's all highlighted because then they know they look at their prompt, what they're looking at, which is not public, what their prompt is, what they look, but it's generally the stuff that we're highlighting right now. And so the thing that Michael needs to add here, he would have to add a text box. Underneath the UPC, he would have to add a text box that says, ASIN : and then whatever the ASIN is that you're trying to get ungated for.
Yeah, and you said right, like add the UPC as well.
The UPC is already there on the Kohl's invoice.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So you just need to add the ASIN.
Well, I have the ASIN.
Or you already see the ASIN. Sorry, I can't see it. The UPC is already there, Michael, on the Kohl's.
I know. That's why I was like.
Which is probably why Kohl's works for ungating because they just naturally list the UPC. And so there's a reason why certain websites work a lot better than others, guys. It's because they list the stuff that Amazon's asking you for. That's why they work better. It's not that one website's, secretly better than the other. It's just, one website adds more detail, which is why Target works a lot better than Walmart. Walmart doesn't put a lot of the useful information on their order screen or the receipts or whatever, the document you can pull from Walmart or the order history screen or whatever. Target adds a lot more of that stuff. But like I said, you could go in and add the stuff it's missing. You just can't, Photoshop something out and replace it with something else. So you could always add stuff to the invoice. You can't take stuff out. So unless it's covering up sensitive information, which would be like, credit card details. I think that's the only thing you would have to, cover out. You can omit that or the pricing. Amazon could care less about how much you paid for the item.
Yep. If you guys want to take a screenshot of this, you're welcome to. It's not my real address, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. And then, if it was, Kohl's, I'm sure the Ungating team's familiar with. But if it's like, you still can always put a text box that disclaims, what Kohl's is. And so that way the Ungating team knows it's a legitimate supplier. So I could add a text box and be like, Kohl's, Kohl's is a retailer here in the United States with 1,700 stores, and they've been in business since 1961. And so that way, the Ungating team knows that this is a legit supplier because they're not in America, so they don't know, what stores from what. And so you could add that on, just on the side of the document there. Not in the document, just put it on the side. That way they know.
Yeah.
That it's not like you're not trying to like Photoshop anything in there. And so that way it just explains to them what this is. And like I said, you could totally do this in Canva. This is, the free Canva does have a paid subscription, but the
This is
highlighted.
all free stuff. You can
Okay,
use
cool.
Canva
This is
for
all free
free.
stuff. Yeah. And so Canva will let you add in a thing. Yeah, go ahead and Brandy, what's your question?
Hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
So what would be the main differences between this and your main competitor? Well, my brain's going blank, so I'm thinking right now. Because I obviously don't want to pay for both.
Different.
Selling.
What difference? Between who? Like competitor?
Celery.
For the app, is that what you're talking about? The profit
Yeah, we'll
calculator?
see. Well, obviously, you're using CeleryAmp, and I have CeleryAmp, and I have this program, and I'm gonna maybe pay for the upgrade. What are the main differences that would make me? Because I don't want to have to pay for both at the same time. Because it seems like a lot of the areas that I'm looking for are in both of these apps. So, what would you say would be the competitive? Yeah.
Sure. Without talking down on any of our
Sure.
competitors, they're all great things in their own ways. We do a lot of the at the end of the day, Nepeto, our website, is we find leads automatically for you, and that's something Nepeto or Solarm doesn't do. It's just a Chrome extension that's a calculator. We automate what they do in the storefront stalker feature. We added like the reverse search inside Nepeto. That's something we do. And at the end of the day, we find the leads for you. Nepeto won't find the leads for you, or Solarm won't find the leads for you. Solarm, it's just a tool to help you find leads faster. They don't find the leads for you. We find the leads for you. And then in terms of our app, Nepeto has an app just like Solarm, and it does the same thing. The difference is the Solarm app you need a subscription for. The Nepeto app right now is free to use. So, but in terms of the website that finds you products, Nepeto is paid because it's a very expensive operation to scan millions of items across a bunch of retailers, 24 hours a day. And so we find the leads for you. It's a very expensive operation, which is why we charge more than Solarm, because Solarm doesn't have the ability to find profitable leads for you. And so hopefully,
yeah.
Go ahead.
That makes sense. Is there anything that SillerAmp has that you guys would like to have, vice versa?
No, we have, not that I can think of, but no, we have everything that SillerAmp has, and so it's something we don't have. Let us know, and we could definitely look into adding it in the future.
Yeah, Brandy.
Okay, thank you.
After this call, if you go to the nepeto.app, you can actually download the app right now. It's no cost, so just check it out.
I did. Thank you.
And there's a profit calculator in there, if that's the question. I know SillerAmp has a profit calculator. We have one, built into the Nepeto app as well. So,
Hey, if you have a subscription with you guys, and is there a perk of getting the subscription with the app?
The app is free right now.
Okay, so
The subscription is for finding, the subscription finds the leads for you and has the storefront stalker feature and all that stuff. The app's more or less for retail arbitrage. Nepeto is mainly for online arbitrage, but we also support wholesale as well on inside Nepeto, the online website.
Yeah, and if I had to chime in there, so you can get the app. Anyone can get it for free right now, right? You don't even have to be a Nepeto user, but there's going to be some features where you do need to have a Nepeto subscription to use. So like Ryan was saying, the reverse sourcing, you can actually do that right from the app. So the only thing is you would need to have a Nepeto subscription to do like the storefront scanner on the app. But so like I guess that would be like the one perk that I can think of right now.
Yeah, so there's a couple things in the app that requires a Nepeto subscription to access our database, and so you would have to have an active Nepeto subscription to the website. So
Cool. Is there any last questions?
Do you
This was a pretty
train-
good call.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Omar.
Do you have any training videos on storefront stocking feature of the Nepedo?
Say
Yeah,
that again.
in our last webinar, the last webinar last week, it's on the Facebook page. Michael goes over in a 45-minute video on how to use the storefront scanner.
Gotcha. So it's all there on the Facebook group.
Yes, and if there's a topic you guys want to see, just comment on this current Facebook group post and say, "Hey, Ryan, I would love for you guys to do your next webinar on this." We're always asking the community what they want to see next on next topic for next week's webinar.
Thank you.
Hey guys, are these recorded?
Yes,
Yep.
they'll be last week's was recorded and this week is currently being recorded as we speak right now, and we'll edit it
Awesome.
down but yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Good to see
Yeah,
you,
well-
Michael. Remember you from the Proven Conference.
Yep. Good to see you as well. Yeah, we're gonna make sure to record all these moving forward. It was just like first two ones were our first times doing it, so but now we got the hang of it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys being here. If you have any questions, let me show you a great resource to ask us questions in the pedo. Is let me go ahead and screen share again. I wanted to cover something here. Give me one moment here. Michael, can they see my screen?
Yeah.
Cool. So I just want to mention Nepedo is a lot more than just a software company. We're a mini mentorship, and so you have, and instead of paying thousands of dollars for a mentorship is with someone's course or whatever. As long as you're a Nepedo subscriber, you have access to our Amazon experts, and so combine every single one of our every one of the employees here at Nepedo, we're all either former Amazon resellers or actively selling, and so you have access, and combined, our team has around 20 years of Amazon selling experience. And so you have access to our, to pick our brains and ask us questions, whether it's like, "Hey, Ryan, can you look at an ASIN?" Or, I need help getting Ungate on this website. What am I doing wrong? And so as long as you're subscribed to Nepedo, you have an active subscription and you're logged in, you're going to see this purple chat box down in the bottom right corner. You can click on this box here and then ask us a question about whatever, and so basically, hey, if I Google search this, and this is not a Google search away, it's not a chat GDP question away, it's something more advanced where you need someone's input on, feel free to ask the chat box here. And so sometimes we're on here live, other times it'll take a little time for us to respond back. Just go ahead and ask us anything and we'll get back to this. And so you can come back to this anytime. It saves in your account. And so whenever you're logged in, it'll be here. And so you could check it back in a couple hours with an answer. Sometimes we'll get back to you right away. Other times it might require someone else from the team to answer it, and they're not available. There might be in a meeting or a tutorial call. But I just want to encourage you guys, to ask us any questions you have in the purple chat box down here, whether it's on gating or anything else that Nepedo or Amazon related. So I just wanted to cover that as well. Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure showing you guys how to get Ungated. Last thing I want to mention, I'm still in screen sharing, is this is the stuff that you want to add on your receipt here. And so you guys could take a photo of this or screenshot this. This is the information Amazon's asking for in an invoice and more. And so all this stuff you can make sure you have all the stuff I covered here. So with that being said, screenshot this, and we'll also we'll post this. We'll post a summary of this in the. We'll add an image to the Facebook call as well in the chat if it lets us. But with that being said, it was a pleasure talking to you guys. Let us know in the Facebook group what topic you want to see next week. And until then, signing off. So
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
bye, guys. Thank you for coming. The recording will
Thank you,
be
guys.
posted. It takes a couple hours to process. It'll be posted sometime tomorrow morning. So just check back on the Facebook group.
All right. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you all for joining. We really appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome. Bye-bye, guys.